Hello, my name is Leslie Germany, and this is my lesson plan for Spanish 1. It's for freshman grade level, maybe sophomore. In this lesson, they will be reading a short story in Spanish, very simple. This would probably be used at the beginning of the year just to kind of get the students in the gist of learning the language. They'll be reading a short story, and the one I picked for this lesson is called En la Costa, and it's by Virginia Tubuda de Robo. The tics that will be covered in this lesson are: in the interpretive mode of communication, students demonstrate understanding of spoken and written communication within appropriate culture context. Example of this type of one-way, reading or listening include, but are not limited to, comprehension of digital text as well as printed audio and audiovisual materials. The next tic is they'll be able to ask and respond to questions about everyday life and spoken conversation. And the reading tic is reflect on understanding to monitor comprehension. And the objectives for this lesson are for students to be able to read and comprehend the passage in Spanish. Second objective is for students to be able to answer the questions about the passage after they've read the passage in Spanish. And the third objective is for students to be able to share and talk about the passage with the classroom as a whole. Two modifications that I came up with are for struggling learners, or to allow students to read the passage with a partner so that their partner can help them understand, and they'll be able to help each other and put their ideas and their knowledge together in order to comprehend the passage fully. And another modification, this would be used for probably students that struggle more with reading and Spanish. I think it would be helpful to break down the passage into parts. Like if the class was really struggling as a whole, I think that giving each student like a part of the short story and having them read that and comprehend it and translate it so they understand it would help the class as a whole, and then we would come back together as a class and put our ideas and our knowledge together. Two modifications that I came up for advanced learners are allow them to help struggling students pick out my ones that already kind of know Spanish and the students that don't know Spanish, and put them together in order so the advanced learner can help the struggling student. Or allow them to read aloud to the classroom and help the class understand. This would give the student an opportunity to teach the class rather than just me teaching the class. Engagement. I will read aloud the first few pages with my students to help them get the gist of the story. Then we'll assign them to read the rest of the story on their own with a partner. And what my Spanish teacher did when I was in school, and I thought this was kind of cool, she would read it first so we could kind of get like how words were pronounced and stuff, and then she would make us read it on our own and translate it and comprehend it fully. I think it would be fun to create a small scavenger hunt in the classroom that requires them to read the hints for them to understand the hints. This will get them in the mode of reading in Spanish. So like there'll be hints in Spanish, and they have to read them in order to get to the next step about the story. One of the graphic organizers that we covered in this in this class that I thought would be extremely helpful in a Spanish classroom is the context clue organizers. This context clue organizer allows them to write down the word, what they think it means, the context clues that they use to kind of gather what they think it means, and then have them look it up and have the actual dictionary definition. This way they can go back and read, like before a test or a quiz or something, they can go back and reread the vocab. This lesson will be about the importance of learning how to read in Spanish and the importance of comprehending the context fully. A more hands-on activity could be forming a word search with information from the passage, and it would be fun to incorporate like vocab, and they would have to like fill in the blank from the story. And so yeah, that's my lesson for Spanish 1. Thank you.